Items under the consent agenda, the minutes from the February 13 meeting and also the treasurer's report. If there are no additions or corrections to either one of those, I would ask for a motion and a second, and then Wendy will follow up with a roll call vote.
Norris moved. Oh, whoops, sorry. Second, Norris.
Who first moved? I didn't catch it.
Who moved?
Wendy, it's your show.
Who moved first, though? I heard Ann, but who else did it?
Jim Willis.
Oh, thanks, Jim. Okay, roll call. Darrell Sanis.
Oh, he's shaking his head. Yeah, just say
I thought-
verbally, just say yes, yep.
Yes. Can you hear me?
And, yep, I can hear you. Sharon.
Here.
Ann.
Here, yes, aye.
Julie.
Aye.
Tim.
Aye.
Kimberly.
Aye.
Roger.
Roger Bergman?
Roger.
Roger, can you hear us?
Roger.
Okay,
Aye, okay, thank you, Roger. Al.
Aye.
Bill.
Aye.
Andy. Kirk.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Helen.
Aye.
Jim. Jim.
Aye.
Bill. Bill.
Bill's muted.
Aye.
Thank you, Bill. That's all approved.
Thank you, Wendy. Motion's been made and seconded and approved by voice vote. Next item on will be the action items. We have, the first item is the insurance liability waiver. Mike, you want to add a few comments regarding that one?
yes, Mr. Chair, this is a norm, we do this every year, and we'll have to do this on the NWCT side. We vote not to waive the monetary limits on municipal liability. This is established by Minnesota Statute 466.04. By doing this action, you are affirming that the NWSCC simply requests liability coverage equal to the statutory limits. We are insured through the League of Minnesota Cities Insurance Trust and will be asked to sign a liability waiver form to either waive or not to waive the monetary limits after official action has been taken by this body. So we're asking, requesting that the Northwest Suburbs Cable Communications Commission vote not to waive the monetary limits on municipal tort liability.
Okay, we will need a second, a motion to approve and a second, and then Wendy will do a roll call vote.
Bill.
Norris move approval.
Second. Bill second.
Okay. Darrell. Darrell Sanis.
Yes, vote yes, not to waive.
Sharon Arbrighter.
Aye.
Ann Norris.
Aye.
Julie Dressler.
Aye.
Kimberly Sandberg.
Aye.
Roger Bergman. Roger.
Roger, can you hear us? Okay, Wendy, why don't you move on to the next one?
Al Mattson.
Aye.
Bill Leith.
Aye.
Andy Hoff.
Aye.
Kirk McDonald.
Yes.
Mark Schultz.
Aye.
Riley Grams.
Aye.
Helen LaFave.
Aye.
Jim Willis.
Aye.
Bill Blonigan.
Aye.
What do you want to do about Roger?
Roger, can you hear us? If you can you unmute your microphone, Roger, and vote? Roger?
Too bad we're not close enough to throw something at him.
I guess not. I guess not. Well, there would be enough votes anyway to pass if I'm correct on that. Can we move on without his vote?
Kick him off, make him sign in, he'll get back. So figure it out.
I would say it's approved.
Okay.
Okay.
Next item under the action items is approval to send a resolution to member cities in support of the Community Television Act. Mike?
Yes, so There is a proposed bill in Congress called the Protecting Community Television Act. We are continuing to seek support of this bill. We've had some success with some of the local members of Congress. We have two of our senators, Senator Klobuchar and Senator Tina Smith, who have signed on. Representative Omar has signed on, but we do need others, and we feel now is the time to get this resolution out to all the cities. And this is attached. Mike Bradley basically put this together, and I localized it for our cities. And so basically, I'm going to scroll down to the actual resolution itself. We're asking approval to send this resolution to all the cities for them to pass. So we're looking for a vote of support in this resolution.
You have a motion to do the support and a second?
I'll make a motion to support.
Okay, Julie and
Wendy?
Nan. Okay. All right,
Wendy?
Daryl.
Aye.
Sharon,
Aye.
Ann,
Aye.
Julie,
Aye.
Kim, Kimberly,
Aye.
Roger,
I think he fell asleep.
Al,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Andy,
Aye.
Kirk,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Riley,
Come on.
Riley,
Sorry.
Aye.
Helen,
Aye.
Jim, Willis,
Aye.
Bill.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item is the information items. Attorney, Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
show is yours.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. So we have 4 items that we put in our short legal brief for you, your legal update brief for you. I'll just go in order that they're in the memo. The first is the Comcast franchise fee review. We just wanted to keep that at the forefront, just to make sure that you know that it's still going on. And the way we left it with Comcast was that they were going to provide a proposal for resolution of the franchise fee underpayment that our consultants found. I've been waiting for that for a while now, so I'm going to be following up over the next couple of days here with Comcast to try to get that moving a little quicker now. We've been spending a lot of time on the 621 order appeal, and that is our case that is challenging the FCC's cable franchising third report and order. We often refer to it as the 621 order. So that's at the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals. We filed our brief with the court on Friday. The petitioner's briefs that will be supportive of local government will be filed a week from this Friday. And then the other side, the FCC and the petitioners for the cable industry will be filing their briefs starting July 1st. Oral arguments have not been set. We do expect there to be oral arguments, but it won't be till probably the end of the year. Next is a new change to the open meeting law, which for those of you on city councils maybe are aware of this already, but once city councils start and cable commissions start meeting in person again, there's a new provision that will continue to allow council members or commission members to participate remotely if there's a medical reason to do so. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention so that if any of you are concerned about attending our meetings when we do start to meet in person, that there is an option there for you. And then finally, the Protected Community Television Act, you just made a recommendation to send a resolution in support of that legislation to your member cities. That legislation would essentially reverse the FCC 621 order. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mike? If not, we will move on. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your efforts. The next item is the communications.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm going to share the screen and just go through some of these you would all have in your packet. This first one, I'm not going to read through all this, but it's the group called the Free Press is looking at, you know, in this day and age where there's a lot of the media is controlled by just too few people. If there's a way as more and more newspapers and media operations shut down, as if there's a way to kind of support that through legislation and even give money to community TV. So I just wanted, I'm not going to read through this whole thing. It's a fairly lengthy document, but it goes into, you know, public media funding and how that would happen, and various emergency appropriations for community media channels and any federal ad spending, so forth and so on. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention, and of course, any additional policies to support local journalism. So I know that's for all of those of you who are good at speed reading, you just saw the whole thing go right before your eyes there. The other thing I wanted to point out is this on-demand use of pay TV was fueled by COVID-19 stay-at-home directives, and we certainly saw that in a very, very, very big way with our operation here, by doubling and tripling amount of people engaging in some of our online content and going even way beyond that on our website. But you can see that the impact of these on-demand channels went up, like increased somewhat 41% or increased significantly 18%. So I just wanted to bring that article to your attention. Also, an update regarding some pricing changes, a memo that we received from Carly Werner about the TV broadcast fee. They are providing notice through bill messages and their billing statements related to this fee. Also wanted to let you know there is also concern from subscribers, you know, all over the country about these sports fees that are out there. You're seeing more and more customers starting to question why the cable company is charging for sports fees when there's no new sports on the channels. And right now, the cable company is talking to all the sports leagues to negotiate something in order to get money back to the subscribers, because the subscribers at their point saying, wait, you know, I'm paying for sports, but I'm not getting anything new. And I might have Mike chime in on that towards the end here after I get through a couple of these other items. And with that news, we've also got, you know, there's still this continuing loss of subscribers for cable TV services. There were two schools of thought when the pandemic hit. Would this hopefully stop the flood of people doing the cord cutting, meaning basically getting internet only because they're all going to be cocooning in their home, or will there be an increased number? And of course, the first quarter, you know, it included January and February, and you know, obviously part of March too, before there was a shutdown. But certainly, you know, everybody is losing cable subscribers there, and certainly we are as well. So, and there we go, as you say. Now, this is from a group called, I think this is Cord Cutter News, that this will continue to happen. This is something we've been telling you about for a long time, and that's why we went through our strategic plan and are working on ways to be more self-sustainable with various things we're working on. And Dave will talk a little bit about that a little bit later on. But so things are coming along there, but I just wanted to point some of those things in your direction. And then I did want to, if Mike Bradley is there and can hear me, The issue with the sports, because again, I've been starting to get more calls from cable subscribers too. Is there anything from a legal standpoint that could be done on this?
You know, I'm not sure that there is a legal avenue for us to take on the sports fee issue that hasn't already been taken. There's certainly a kind of an advocacy approach that you could take in letting the congressional delegation know about these issues, and maybe even at the state level. But yeah, on the legal side, we're pretty limited on what we can do now. You know, we used to have rate regulation authority, and that's kind of where we would use our authority on this type of an issue. But a couple of years ago, the FCC essentially revoked all rate regulation authority of every local government in the country. And it's very hard to recertify. And so we have not recertified. I don't know any local government in Minnesota that has recertified for rate authority.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you on that. And I did want to mention one thing. I did receive an email message from Camille Hepola. She is officially online and on the meeting, Wendy. So if you make note of it, that Camille Hepola is present on voice. And that concludes my communications on the commission side.
Okay, Mike, thanks. Any other items to come before the commission? If not, I'd ask for a motion and a second to adjourn, and then Wendy will do a roll call vote.
So moved, McDonald.
It's been made.
I'll second. Julie Deschler.
There was a second. Okay, Wendy?
Oh, Wendy, you're muted. Try that.
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
All right, sorry. Daryl,
Aye.
Sharon,
Aye.
Camille,
Aye.
Ann,
Aye.
Julie,
Aye.
Kimberly,
Aye.
Roger,
Aye.
Al,
Aye.
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Andy,
Aye.
Kirk, Kirk,
Aye.
thank you. Mark,
Aye.
Riley,
Aye.
Ellen, Helen,
Aye.
thank you. Jim, Willis,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
all counted.
Thank you, Wendy. Commission meeting is adjourned.
All right.
Marcia, your time.
All right, welcome to the Northwest Community Television Board of Directors meeting. A quick reminder to people that if you're making noises and your microphone is on, we're all hearing those noises. So thank you for muting in between. So our first thing is our consent items. There are 2 consent items on the agenda, the approval of minutes and the treasurer's report.
Norris, move approval.
Graham, second.
Okay, Wendy?
All right, Camille,
Aye.
Ann,
Aye.
Cheryl,
Aye.
Al,
Aye.
Kirk,
Aye.
Riley,
Aye.
Helen. Aye. Marcia,
Aye.
Joni,
Aye.
Daryl,
Aye.
Mary.
Quick question. What am I approving? Because kind of cut out there. Is this the
The minutes and treasurer's report.
minutes and the treasurer's report?
Yes.
Okay, aye.
Okay, Marcia.
Okay, next we have our one action item, and that is the insurance liability waiver. And this is similar to what we just saw on the commission agenda.
Yes, Madam Chair, I won't read the whole thing. You have you have it right in front of you. We read through this within the last meeting. The document can be seen by the public here, and of course, all the other materials are available. But again, we are requesting that the Northwest Community Television Board of Directors vote not to waive the monetary limits on municipal tort liability.
I will make the motion, McDonald.
Nora, second.
Okay, any
Camille.
discussion?
Oh.
Oh, sorry, Wendy, go ahead.
Camille, Ann,
Aye.
Cheryl. Al,
Aye.
Kirk,
Aye.
Riley,
Aye.
Helen,
Aye.
Marcia,
Aye.
Joni,
Aye.
Daryl,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
all yours, Marcia.
Okay, so again, before we move into the staff reports, a reminder that if you're making noise like typing and your microphone is on, we are all hearing that. So if you could either not multitask or turn your microphone to mute when you're doing that, that would be great. And so then we have staff reports.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's been a very interesting time, to say the least, unprecedented times in terms of our operations here. Everybody is in what's called a new normal. We don't enjoy the new normal, but we're all getting through it. And I just want to say I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for all of our staff, but there has been a core team, smaller core team here that has gotten things going, because we've had a lot of people working at home, but we've had a core group kind of basically keeping the lights on, keeping the building running in one form or another, and keeping us on the air, for lack of a better term. And with that, with all that, we've got a lot of rock stars in our group, and we're going to have some of our managers talk about some of the things that they're doing in their departments. But let me just say, I'm very proud of every employee getting through this, and the various core group of people who have gone the extra mile to keep things going. So I can't thank them enough for all of that. We are in the process of finalizing a preparedness plan, which is basically all about how you're going to keep the building clean, and all the things that you're going to do to help keep the building safe for the employees. And that plan is in its final form. In fact, I want to thank there's several people on this meeting right now who have provided me various information from a survey I had sent, and had sent me some of their plans. And I want to thank you for that. I know there's other cities still putting some final touches on some plans, and making some changes to that, and operating at various levels from 100% or either at 100% now, or aiming to get to 100% by June, and some others will phase in beyond that. So I want to thank you for sharing some of your plans, B, for filling out the survey, and C, for all your support and helping us out during this time. And we've been doing a lot of prep work here. That's been kind of one of the things I've kind of taken under my wing, and with the help of Jamie Anderson, who's our chief technician and does a lot of things related to the building. We've been doing a lot of pre-prep work with various things, with getting plexiglass installed in certain areas, and then we're putting up some more partitions. Especially, we're very concerned too on the create side when we begin to allow the public in. We don't have a date yet for when we're going to open up for the public, because we're still in the process of getting more. We got to get more staff in the building to get that whole operation running. But the plan is at some point. But we're also, beyond what other community TV centers may be doing, we're also looking at our cities in terms of what they're doing in regard to park and rec programs and what kind of things they're doing. Because in a way, again, since we are a joint powers group of the cities, we look to the cities to see what they're doing in terms of those operations and how they're opening up or when they will open up, because those would be some similar concerns we may have, because there's a lot of things to talk about, right? I mean, we may not be able, when you think about social distancing, we use this as an example. You know, in the past we're like the #1 studio for polka shows right here. We got the best polka show, not only in the state, but in the country. Well, that creates a very difficult issue for social distancing when you have senior citizens dancing together in the studio, in a full studio. So these are little issues we'll be, not little, big issues we'll be looking at. So, but again, a lot of things have been happening. We've been ordering a lot of supplies, onesie, twosie things here and there. It's so hard to get certain things, but we've done a pretty good job of getting things set up now. So I'm feeling very confident in terms of what we have in that regard. And the only other thing is I wanted to say that we just want to thank Wendy for her work. We just went through our audit, our annual financial audit, and this is the first time. Of course, this is our first virtual meeting, which actually is going pretty good. You never know. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. It's so far so good from a technical standpoint. But Wendy was involved very deeply into our audit that we had with Abdo, Ike, and Meyer, totally virtual, and it actually went very well. So we may be doing that again in the future, or it'll be on site. No one knows what the future is going to bring, but all I will say is that it was a pretty smooth operation in terms of doing the financial audit this year. With that said, I would like to turn it over. I'm going to turn it over to Dave because we have his report up first. Dave, again, is one of these people I was referring to in terms of the core team, who has a lot to do with our programming and working with all the managers and getting things going. And I want to thank Dave personally here at this meeting for all the work that he's done and all the Zoom meetings he's done with elected officials or appointed officials and all kinds of things. So take it away, Dave.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Can you hear me, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I'm back in another part of the building here with the CCX media background, which has been very busy for us as we have done a lot of Zoom interviews. And as you see in my first point on my update, certainly virtual content production has been a key for us, not only us producing virtual content, and Shannon and Tim will talk about that, of what we've been doing on our end, but also we reached out to other groups to see how we could assist them in producing virtual content, and that has gone very, very well. You see a note there of some of the things we've done. Many interviews over Zoom has been a key facet for us, with not only mayors from the different cities, but also many department heads. Cities have chosen people that they would like to have interviewed to talk about a segment of their response to COVID-19. So that has gone very well. And most of those turn around within a couple hours to go right back to the city for use on their Facebook, social media, website, whatever avenue they would like to get those out. We've done weekly interviews with the area food shelves as well. We thought that was very important information to get out. So we reached out to all of the executive directors and presidents of the food shelves and said, we'd like to help you. We'd like to, on a weekly basis, interview someone from your organization to let area residents know what's available and also how they can help out through donations. And that has gone very well. We're continuing that until the food shelves get back up to full operation. Other things that have happened, cities have had to look for different ways to put on events, such as the virtual bike rodeo went very well with 4 cities involved in that process. We helped through some promotion, then actual educational video that went out to help people understand bike rules. And then we did a live event with the Robbinsdale Police and a person from Robbinsdale Park and Rec at their police department to give away 7 bikes. So it was a very nice event, received very well. Also the vehicle fair, we made a video for the vehicle fair. We've helped cities with Arbor Day. Also North Hennepin Community College came to us and said, we don't know what to do with our graduation. Can we do it virtually? And we said, we're here to help you. So we spent quite a few hours working with them on having representatives come in and recording some of their speeches for the event, and then also getting music recorded in, edit it together. And it was a very nice half-hour segment and received a number of views virtually for people that could not go to the regular graduation, obviously. One other note, coming up tomorrow, if you're interested in tuning into the channel or to our Facebook at 11 a.m. tomorrow, we've been working with the city of Plymouth on a virtual Memorial Day event. So at 11 a.m. tomorrow, there'll be a pre-taped production that will debut that will be the same program that would have happened on site, but it will happen virtually. And if you look at the Plymouth Sun-Sailor, they were very nice to put together an article about how that happened with some different groups working together. A couple other quick notes, I'll run through these a little quicker. The Connection program, obviously, we've done a lot to respond to COVID-19 need from the cities. The image you see there is about one of the events that still stayed on. So people were thinking a lot of the events were canceled. Well, in Maple Grove, the drop-off day continued. So we did some promotion to make sure people understood that that was still happening. Other things happened with that in other cities. We talked about park rules, online services, again, event updates, and we've increased our interviews with the mayors to help them get that information out that need to, that changes on a pretty much daily basis. Mike mentioned this earlier, the next point, record engagement for CCX Media. Certainly the governor's updates, it was something we hopped in on early and said, there's really not a site for people to view the governor's updates or the MDH updates after they're done. If they miss the live, where do we find them? So we started to supply that resource for people to find it, and the response has been fantastic. So our numbers for April and now going into May have just increased dramatically. A lot of people are engaging with those updates, but also all of the other content we're producing, and Shannon will talk a little bit more about that. Final note is future sustainability. Again, we've been working quite a bit behind the scenes to get ready for the next phase of a for-hire environment, renting the facility, doing some work that would need to be done to sustain our operation. And as you see, a core group of staff people have worked together on that to discuss different plans. You see, we're working on blueprints for the building of the different areas that can be rented. We've done a few test for hire segments with some different various groups to talk about ways that we can produce videos at a very affordable rate, or if they're interested, at a much higher rate with a lot of back-end production work. So that has been going very well. We're doing some painting in the studio of some of the green walls and turning one green wall into a white wall, which is something we find that people are interested in renting. So that is moving ahead very well, and certainly we'll have more updates in upcoming meetings. So that is my update. If there's any questions, be happy to answer. Otherwise, Shannon is going to give you a little update from news next.
Hello, everyone. We'll start, I think, with some good news in the normal days. We won some awards. We won 4 awards from the Midwest Broadcast Journalism Association. One was a first place award for cable newscast and large television, and 3 were awards of merit for different in-depth or feature reports that we did. And I was proud of all of them, but one that took a considerable amount of effort was the hard feature, a story called Fleeing Home, Hmong Memories of the Secret War by Pafua Yang and Ben Kroll. And many of these interviews were done in the Hmong language. And so we had to put up subtitles and put a lot more work in that piece. And so I was really proud of that and glad that it got a little bit of recognition as well. And then March 16th, 17th happened, which is when we adjusted to remote operations. And, you know, the news never sleeps, and sometimes neither do we. No, I'm just kidding. We just continued to post stories every day. In the first probably 10 days, we really adapted to more of a newspaper format, online, of course, where it was a good article with pictures if we could get them. And over time, we gradually folded more video into that formula. What we found out is interesting. We know that people really just want information. They just want content, whether or not it is just a picture with an article or it has video. Some stories we believe lend itself very well to video. For example, we found out there was a fella in Golden Valley who was going out in his neighborhood and playing the cello in his front yard. That's a great video story. So we'd be able to allocate resources to that, to tell that story. On the other side of that, also in Golden Valley, Energy's Beltline or Centerpoint Energy's Beltline project, where it's about replacing utility lines. Not really an interesting video story. So we were really able to just concentrate on making that more of an article format. So as we've continued through in this hybrid, we've learned that people are clicking on our web stories that don't have video just as much, if not more, than the stories that have video. So we've really tried to adapt and be fluid to that situation. I'm really proud of our news team. We have posted stories every single day. And what's interesting too is, you know, when you have a newscast, it's a very set amount of time. And so often we have to cut stories down, or we have to leave a story for another day. This new format, we're able just to get it and push it out. Yesterday, when New Hope sadly said they were going to have to delay the start of their pool, we were able to turn that around based with what the city supplied us and get that out probably within 30 minutes. And that's just so much faster than if we were having to wait on a broadcast. It probably would have not been out for us for 24 hours. So that's different. A lot of covering news really in this situation has reminded me of, I worked in Louisiana for 5 years before I was here, covered a lot of hurricanes, covered Katrina. And in a lot of ways, this reminds me of that, to where we're just getting whatever information we can, we're pushing it out in whatever ways we can, knowing that people are hungry for that information. They want to know what's going on and stay connected to their communities. The only difference is we don't have an aftermath yet. But of course, we'll be there to cover that too. And so I guess I'll just end with saying I am so proud of our team and our ability to be flexible and fluid and able to work. We're still getting out in the community every day. I guess I should touch on that. For example, I'm the roving reporter today. I'll stop in Maple Grove, talk to the mayor about how he's adapting with restaurants to what the governor rolled out yesterday. Going over to Mound Cemetery in Brooklyn Center, where volunteers will be putting up flags on graves since they're not having a Memorial Day service this year. And then stopping by Becker Park to show that that project is done, even though you can't play on it yet. So we're still getting out in the community every day and pushing those stories to us in new and different ways. So if you have any great story ideas, particularly if something's going on in your neighborhood, please let us know. I think people they're not only looking for those important stories, but they're looking for those stories that inspire and educate too. And we're definitely here to tell those.
All right, I think we'll turn it over then to Tim Gaffron, who's been working behind the scenes, behind the camera, with the cities, and doing a phenomenal job in all the work. Tim, Sean, Jamie, part of our staff, and all the part-time crew who are at the city halls, and again, Shannon has done, and her whole team has done a phenomenal job. And turning it over to Tim here, he's done so many amazing things, and we've heard some great things from you, each of the cities, on all the great work that Tim has done. So take it away, Tim.
All right, thank you, Mike. Do you all hear me okay? This is not a virtual background. This is my office, I'm sorry to say, but it is what it is. The last couple of months, yes, have been very interesting with city council meetings moving to online formats. The challenge is going to be when we start moving meetings back to a live format, or in the chambers format, or some hybrid combination of those types of meetings, because it's easy to do all or nothing, but it's not so easy to combine the two technologies together. And so that'll be our challenge, and we're starting to face that and talking about that at a couple of our cities already this week, and looking at next week and the week after for more of them to get into that. We've been doing all the meetings that have been called. Several meetings were canceled, and in April we had 26 broadcast or stream meetings, and they were all conducted remotely. I do want to, as Mike mentioned, the part-time crews, thank them for hanging in there. Nobody's gotten sick yet, which I appreciate. We have moved to a single person operation. Most city council control rooms, we have 2 people, one person doing the camera work, another person doing graphics and monitoring the audio. But in order to enforce social distancing, we've dropped down to 1 person in each of those locations. So that puts a little bit more of a burden on that 1 person, but they've adapted well and we appreciate that. So that's kind of what's happening with city meetings. The next kind of big challenge related to that is we're starting to discuss and getting requests for candidate forums coming up. And it looks like most of those are planned to be in a remote format as well. The first one potentially in July, and then several more as we get into fall. So we'll be working with League of Women Voters and with city clerks and city staff at all the city halls where those are going to happen, and do the best we can to accommodate those. It could be a real interesting, it's one thing for, those of you who are in city councils, have learned to use technology. It's been a great experience for you. I'm sure for all of you, but now we're going to have people who we have less, for lack of a better word, control over, to log in and be participants in meetings. And so that could be a real interesting situation, and it'll be what we'll do the best we can with it. Just a couple of other quick things going on. We are still meeting with the City of Plymouth staff and a consultant and planning for remodeling of the AV system in their council chambers, and a little bit of remodeling with their council DIOS and the monitors, and pretty much keeping it the same as is, but a whole upgrade to technology and a little bit of work on the top of the DIOS there. So that project is moving along. We're in the design phase right now, and looking at late 2020 or early 2021 for the actual work on that. And then we also have been working with Golden Valley a lot over the last year and a half, having weekly meetings. Finally got to the bid phase on that project, and that's about when the whole COVID-19 thing hit. And then we did go out to bids, and the construction bids were over estimates. The AV bids were about where we expected them to be. But with all that's going on and not being where we thought we would be, that project is on hold for right now. So I think that's about all I have for right now. I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, doesn't look like any, so I'll segue over to Javier Cedillo, who is our Create supervisor for the studios and for the public. So Javi, you've got a little report to make, so take it away.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I'll start off by saying thank you to everybody, and thank you to Mike and Dave and Wendy for all the support. So in Create, we've been trying to stay connected with our communities through ways of staying connected by community. Through ways of staying connected are by community programs, highlights. That's a weekly newsletter that Trudy and I create. We feature 3 local programs with a brief description so that our subscribers know what's playing on the TV. And another one is connected through Zoom, a social club where for an hour, Tamisha, Trudy, Dustin, and I, we get to talk to our members, producers who are creating television, and we're all able to talk about technologies or their experiences through what's going on right now, or just some creative ideas that they want to create once they get back into the studio. And the third is going to be the Create experience at home. That's something new that we've been starting to brainstorm and kind of start doing. That is the goal to that is to provide support and technology to our volunteers, producers, who are unable to record productions on their own. So the people who were creating shows at the studio, they want to keep on doing it. They want to get creative again when they're at home. So we're helping and assisting with that by creating a Zoom interview base and helping them achieve their goal of interviewing authors or anybody from their a program. So we're helping our members stay connected, engaged, even if we're not in the studio. So we are doing our best, and we are excited once we do go back in. So I just can't wait. Any questions? Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Thank you.
that concludes our staff reports.
Okay, so concluding staff reports, are there any other items anyone would like to bring up?
Can
Marsha?
I ask a question? Or not ask a question, make a comment?
Go ahead.
I just, as a city communications manager, and I think I speak on behalf of Cheryl and Camille as well, but CCX has stepped up in this situation beyond anything that I could have imagined, especially when we were first trying to get out information. It was like very immediate, very adaptable, and really light on their feet. Dave Kaiser has been so quick to change tracks and provide more frequent information for the cities and opportunities for us to share it. He's just, it's like, this has been his sweet spot. It's like his Super Bowl.
We may be killing him though, Helen.
Maybe so, but he's just been doing a great job. I have to say Mike as well, just in terms of their service orientation. Tim Gaffron, you know, coming to make sure, and he's doing this with 9 cities to make sure we're all prepared for live meetings, coming in, dealing with unruly groups of staff who are trying to learn Zoom and get everything squared away. Shannon, in terms of getting out information on the news side and adapting in terms of first the written stories, social distance interviews, because we lose a lot of our tools, particularly when we lose newsletters that we weren't able to put out because of the delay in producing and how much change is going on. And so I just have to say a very heartfelt thank you. And also, I'm not involved in the Create side, but Javi, I didn't have any clue what was going on with Create, and just am so impressed to hear how you guys are staying with your members. So that's all I wanted to say. I just had to, I know everyone wants to get off the call, but I had to acknowledge this.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I second that wholeheartedly.
I think there were a couple of other people that wanted to say something. Riley?
I just
want to say thank you as well.
Joni?
It's been a tough time the last few months, and coming together and just shows what a great job everybody has done. And Mike and the whole crew, Dave, we worked on the Golden Valley historical piece, and coming together and putting it together very quickly, because this is all new, and it just shows the great organization and the great jobs everyone's done. And thank you so much.
Okay, Riley?
Yeah, I just wanted to also comment, Helen completely stole my thunder. So I just, a big thank you to everybody at CCX, particularly Tim, for helping us get up and running with the virtual meetings. You know, that was all a brand new process for all of us, and trying to figure that out and make sure that it worked properly. So big thank you to Tim. Huge thank you also to Dave and to Shannon for the content that's being produced. You know, in Osseo, we don't have communication staff. I'm communication staff. All of us are communication staff in the city of Osseo. So we wear many hats, and we don't have a lot of time to produce a ton of communication content. And so we really rely on CCX to create stuff for us, but also just in general. We share a lot of stuff from CCX on our website and on our social media accounts. So just a huge thank you for your continued work during this really challenging times. That's it.
Okay, is there anybody else?
Just ditto.
Same, Camille, I ditto what Helen and others have said. Really thank you to CCX for your help through this time. obviously been very challenging for all of us, and it's also challenging for CCX, but yet you've still been there to assist and partner with us. So thank you.
Okay, and ditto for Robbinsdale as well. Anything else anybody wanted to bring up?
Everybody stay safe.
Okay, thanks, Joni.
Sure.
Okay, I think that's it. So we'll be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Second, Norris.
Okay, moved and seconded. And Wendy?
All right, Camille,
Aye.
Ann,
Aye.
Cheryl,
Aye.
Al,
Aye.
Kirk,
Aye.
Riley,
Aye.
Helen,
Aye.
Marcia,
Aye.
Joni,
Aye.
Daryl,
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody, take
Thanks,
care.
everybody.
Stay safe.
Be
Thanks.
well.
Have a
Bye.
good day.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.